Hey guys, Omerko here, self-taught web developer. Continuing our series for Angular Essentials, we will take a look into another directive called NgIf. Let's first see what is NgIf. NgIf is a template-based directive. We are mostly using it to show content on our screen based on some condition. You can think of it as a if-else statement in a JavaScript that we are mostly using, but only this time we are able to use it directly in our HTML code. To show you a simple example of NgIf, I will first remove all the content from my last video, so this button and also input field here. Save this HTML. In CSS I don't have any code, and in my TypeScript I will also remove this viewChild and submit username, a method that we used. Also I will remove viewChild from import here and element ref as well. So now let's go back to our HTML. Now in my HTML I will create simple paragraph with some lorem ipsum text inside. I will also go view and toggle word wrap so you could better see it like this. That's okay. To use NgIf on this paragraph itself, we will pass it as an attribute to the paragraph here. To use it, we should first use star element. This star element will declare one of directives from Angular. We wish to use ng, then I should be capitalized, then if. So NgIf set equal to something. This something, it should be condition for us. To use any condition here in my NgIf, I will jump quickly in my TypeScript file here. In my TypeScript file, I will create the property called show, and I will set that to be equal to false. Now in my HTML, I can check here on my NgIf if this show, the property show is equal to true. This will basically mean if show is equal to true, then show this element, show this paragraph. Checking now this on my browser, we don't see any content here because show is equal to false initially. Now before my paragraph, up here I will create one button. Can be type of a button, that's okay. Text for the button will be show, and let's run click event listener here. So pass click event, and let's name a function show paragraph like this. So let's create this function in my TypeScript. So in my TypeScript, just down below my show property, I will create this function, and I will set this dot show to be equal to true, which means that once we click on this button, my show property will be equal to true itself. Now checking this on my screen, if I would zoom in a bit, we could see this show simple button that we have, and we don't have any paragraph yet because show is still equal to false. If I would click here show button, we will see that our paragraph will show up because the show property is now set to true. As I mentioned, this NgIf works similarly as if-else statement that we have in JavaScript. So let me show you how can you use else inside of this NgIf directive. If I wish to pass else here after my if condition, I should put dot and comma at the end and use else here. Now that I'm using else, I am able to pass some name of some block that I wish to, render if my show is set to false. So here I will just name my block else block as an example. We can see that this property else block does not exist on type app component, so we should create first this else block. To create this type of block, we usually use something called NgTemplate in Angular. So after my paragraph, I will create NgTemplate, and here I can name my NgTemplate. So I will pass a local variable, which we already took a look in one of the previous videos. So here I will pass hash, then else block, which will immediately fix the error up here. And whatever I pass here in this NgTemplate will be rendered if the condition is not met right here. So what I wish to show here could be, for example, h4 element with text of no content to show, and that's okay. Checking this now in my browser, let me again zoom in, we can see that we see this NgTemplate content, which is no content to show, because our show element, well, show property is still set to false, and our condition for our paragraph is not met at that point. If we click now on this show button, then we won't see that NgTemplate at all, we won't see that else block that we have, but we will see our original element, which is paragraph. So you saw how mostly we use our NgIf directive in Angular for what is used, and even how can we use and pass else option to NgIf directive. As you saw NgIf directive, I wish to show you one more directive in Angular called ng4, and I will use next video to do that. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you saw, please click like and subscribe, as I am posting new content weekly. Thank you once again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.